Do we want to be the brand that says, you're ugly, therefore use my brand? Or do you want to be the brand that says, I'm empowering you, here's my brand. Let's make you feel beautiful as you are now. You should not just be empowering audiences, you should also empower the brand. Okay, this is how you can make a change, not just for the benefit of your brand, but for the benefit of your future and current consumers.
Welcome to the Soul Podcast, where we dive into stories that shape our souls.
For this episode, we will be having a real and honest conversation about the current state of beauty culture in the Philippines with HAVAS Ortega's senior strategist, Gela Ayuson. Using key insights from the HAVAS Beauty Prosumer Report, we'll explore what the data reveals about how people think and feel about beauty today, and what this all means for our mental health, our identity, and the future. Let's all welcome Gela! We ask this to every guest.
Okay.
Gela, what fuels your soul?
So what fuels my soul would be my interest, my hobbies, and my work. These things, whenever I pursue them, I feel beautiful. And my loved ones, like my family, my friends, my significant other, also helps me make me feel alive rin, because they supported me when I don't feel beautiful. Until now, they support me.
That's so cute. Can you introduce yourself and what you do at
Okay.
HAVAS?
So, hi, I'm Gela Ayuson. So, I work at HAVAS Ortega. So, it's an advertising agency in Makati City. Basically, my role entails translating data into marketing strategies, whether it's a product or it's an advocacy. We answer the questions: who are they targeting? We define the audience, how best to talk to them in terms of when or where, like social media ba, or TV or OH, like billboards. And we also try to help the media best to communicate to them. How do we talk to them? What are the words that we need to hit or mention when we talk to the audience? So yeah.
That sounds like a big girl job, girl.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the Beauty Prosumer Report. Can you tell us what that's all about?
Okay, so at Havas Ortega, we conduct global surveys on a group of people called prosumers. In the Philippines, they're about 15 to 20% of the population. So they're mostly Gen Zs and millennials, actually. And we believe that they are the drivers of future trends, future beliefs in the country in the next 18 to 24 months. So we believe that whatever they think now will be something that a more wider society will also think about in the future. So we cover relevant topics in recent times like generative AI. And for our latest report, we have the beauty issue. So we're covering beauty and wellness since we believe that it's one of the pressing topics in the country right now.
That's actually connected to my next question because it's interesting to me that you focused on beauty and wellness. Why is that?
Actually, we're at the beginning stage of the age of AI. With the digital age, social media, beauty standards can change overnight. And now with AI coming in, more and more people use it. We need to look more into how influencers, key opinion leaders talk about beauty, what the prosumers think about beauty, and from there, where are we going? And as marketing and media professionals, what do we need to do? What's our responsibility in terms of beauty? And how do we make sure that the younger children will get positive notions on beauty as they grow up?
Yeah, that's super interesting to me. I'm so excited to talk about this. Do you have any data points that you can share with us?
There's a lot actually, but one that's connected to body image, I guess, would be 50% of Filipino prosumers think that body positivity is at its end na.
Shocker.
Right? So about 15 or 10 years ago, body positivity is all over the fashion world, for example. More and more runways and fashion weeks are hiring plus size models as part of their efforts to join the body positivity movement. But what's shocking right now is that since 2022, the number of plus size models, they're decreasing. So it's something that's connected to what the prosumers believe. Like I said kanina, half of them believe that the body positivity movement is about to end na. So that says a lot about what we should do as media practitioners, as marketing professionals. So where is it headed? It could regress, but for me, it's evolving into something different. Because back then, diba, there's no talks about Ozempic or GLP-1 drugs. It's not as common as it is now on social media. And the influencers of today, even the doctors of today, they're commonly recommending people to use it. It's like a makeup or a skincare brand that you can just get somewhere and then use it on you to feel beautiful, which is, for me, it's kind of concerning. And I can't say where it's headed exactly, but it's something that we should definitely watch and think about.
Yeah, so crazy to me that these kinds of drugs are on the market. For you as a strategist and also like as a woman, how do you make sense of these datas?
It's pretty concerning because before, diba, during the body positivity movement, everyone's like against discrimination. Like,
Yeah.
whatever size you are, whatever look you want to choose, it's acceptable, it's okay. But right now, it's like they're saying it's okay, but if you want to take this drug so that you feel more beautiful and healthy, which is for me, it's really concerning, especially for the kids who are seeing this on social media and everything. It's like it's saying that if you want to be accepted in society, you have to be a certain size, which is not true, right? Because everyone's beautiful in whatever size they are. And if they're gonna say, oh, but it's healthier, but there's a lot of athletes who don't fit in the cookie cutter shape, right? That one can still be fit, one can still be healthy, and even athletic in whatever size they are. So
I mean, on the one hand, I think there are also people who are still gunning for body positivity, right? Or body neutrality na however your body looks like, that's what you should celebrate.
yes.
Yeah, so is it then alarming for you when you see these data points and you're like, kasi medyo bleak yung ibang headlines. Like, I think there was one that's there are no ugly women, only lazy ones.
Yeah. It's actually pretty bleak, right? When you read about it. But you can look at it in a different perspective. Like at first kasi you can say na, oh, you're lazy, therefore you're not beautiful. But it's more of beauty is something that you invest on. Not to get praises from other people, but as a form of loving yourself. Beauty is something that can be as simple as, waking up in the morning, making your bed, choosing what specific skincare you want to wash your face with, what makeup that you're going to wear, how would you express yourself through the clothes that you choose to wear. You define your beauty. And it's not because you're lazy, it's because you feel beautiful in it and it makes you confident in your talents and the good that you do for the world. And, that's enough.
Now that there's so many options, do you think beauty now becomes more of a pressure to us?
For me, it becomes pressure if you are doing something that you don't like. If you're doing it to feel confident in yourself, feel good about yourself, you feel that you're caring for you, you're choosing you basically and not others, I think that's not pressuring at all. It becomes work if you're conforming to something that you don't want to conform in the first place. That becomes pressuring and that becomes work.
This brings me to the other data point that you guys had, which is that magazines now don't dictate insecurities, it's influencers. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, I think 64% of Filipino prosumers think that magazines don't dictate insecurity anymore. It's already influencers. And it's actually aligned with the fact that we're in the digital age. So young children don't look at magazines anymore. Like I did when I was a kid. I used to look at magazines and look at the models, like the clothes that they're wearing, the makeups that they have. And I'm like, okay, I want to be like her when I grow up. But now it's social media and it's influencers. And for me, it's kind of scary because influencers can just change and dictate trends overnight. And influencers, or even us, when we have our own followers on social media, a small community that sees what we do, it tells them that they have a responsibility. Yes, you can express yourself na you're beautiful, but you should always know na you can be your beautiful self, express it online without triggering insecurities for others. There are young kids that follow anyone on social media. So we all have that collective responsibility about what we post.
This is super interesting to me because I mean you're a strategist, right? And I assume you guys work with influencers
Yes.
also when you're doing PR and stuff. How do you guys choose which ones are, I guess, good?
We study first the brand. Like, what does the brand that we work with or the advocacy that we work with stand for? So we list their key qualities, and among the list of influencers, we try to match the qualities of the brand to the qualities of the influencers that we have. Actually, at HAVAS Ortega, we have a scoring system. We list qualities and then we grade the influencers based on those qualities. So that's how we make sure that we're not just serving the brand, but we're also serving the audiences, because one of the qualities that we look for is how responsible is the influencer, how proper is the language that they use, how proper are their past content. That's part of us being responsible for our clients and for the audience.
You're a strategist, but also a consumer, right? For you, knowing all of this, how do you assess which content is good to consume, especially on the beauty and wellness front?
I'm an older Gen Z, hindi lang halata. As Gen Zs, and I think this is for everyone as well, authenticity is very important. I personally don't just follow cloud chasing lang. Like, they're just saying, na, oh, okay, they're supporting this advocacy because it's the trend nowadays, right? So I want to see that he or she is really supporting that advocacy because he or she really means it.
Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, I'm going to read the headline. 96% of Filipino prosumers believe that taking care of their appearance is as important as their mental health. Can you tell us more about that?
Okay, so 96% of Filipino prosumers believe that beauty is as important as their mental health. Beauty kasi is a form of self-care. So it's like, it's not enough that you care for yourself mentally, but you also have to take care of yourself physically. And you also have to take care of the way you dress. Not for everyone, not for anyone else, but for you. It's like going out of the bedroom, washing your face, making sure that you brush your teeth. You know, it's not just makeups or fancy clothes, but it's as simple as doing the basic routine, the basic hygiene.
Holistic wellness is everything now. People want to be fit. They want to look good, which I think is positive. Like, it's a positive change. I was also thinking about this last night. Na parang, there is a thin line, I think, between self-care and also insecurity-driven self-obsession. Na parang, oh, I have to do this and that so I can be beautiful. Where do you think we should draw that line for you personally?
Personally, I think we have to draw that line on your motivation.
Mm.
So is it to get praises from someone? Or to feel good about yourself, or because you based your self-worth on someone else. So I think that's the thin line.
Personally, was that ever a struggle for you?
I mean, I used to be young. So yeah, I guess yeah. But luckily I was able to, realize na I need to feel beautiful. I need to invest myself for me and not for someone else.
I'm so interested because, like, data points, they're not for everybody. But for you, does seeing all these data points help you with your own relationship with beauty, with yourself?
It definitely gave me an idea on where we're heading in the next few months. And as a strategist, I help create marketing campaigns with other people in the agency. It gave me an idea on the amount of responsibility that we need to do as marketeers. What message do we need to push? The advocacies that we need to help boost? And how do we use whatever talents that we have to make sure that we don't go to the negative side of beauty, especially for the future generations who will see our campaigns. So,
Yeah, I assume that's also pressuring. Because
yeah,
advertising
in a
is,
way.
I mean, everything, it's everywhere.
Yes.
And you're kind of dictating also
Mhm.
where we're headed, right?
Mhm.
How do you deal with that?
I make a list. I make a list and maybe sort my ideas into things that I should not be doing based on the mistakes of others, past campaigns. I've worked with beauty brands that communicate to younger children, to girls. And of course, it's thin ice, right? Sometimes. And I always remind my bosses, my teammates that do we want to be the brand that says, you're ugly, therefore use my brand? Or do you want to be the brand that says, I'm empowering you, here's my brand. Let's make you feel beautiful as you are now. It like helps us ground ourselves, especially when doing marketing campaigns. Context is very important. Should always connect it to their brand. Na this is one of the problems in the Philippines. This is your brand. This is what you stand for. I think we can help push this advocacy. So you make the connection, put the context in front of them, and then empower them. Parang you should not just be empowering audiences. You should also empower the brands. Okay, this is how you can make a change, not just for the benefit of your brand, but for the benefit of your future and current consumers.
Yeah,
So,
messaging
yeah.
is everything. There's this notion na advertising, you kind of milk insecurities. Do you agree with that? I'm sure
Definitely,
not.
there are still brands that do that, sadly.
Mm.
So it's your responsibility to make sure that your brand doesn't do it. And, it out voices the negativity from other brands.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Moving on to the other headline that I actually really like, I was encouraged by, is that 100% of Filipino prosumers believe the best way to be beautiful is to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us more?
It's like a positive thing, right? Out of the bleak numbers that we have from the report. Right? And it's actually comforting in a way, especially when other parts of the report says that 77% believe that eating healthy is a form of being healthy. And another 50% says that exercise is something that they're trying to pursue. It actually gives a positive light to the future trends. Actually, we can feel it now, right? With the rise of running, eating healthier, other sports like pickleball or Pilates, right? A lot of people are picking that up. It actually goes back to the brands. How are you gonna help them or enable them to pursue healthier eating, exercise with your product? Let me partner with you so that we exercise together or we eat healthier together. So
Yeah, galing. Like, I think that's also why so many communities are popping up now. Running, pickleball, or anything. Like, even reading clubs are coming back. Pausing here to say that this episode of the Soul Podcast is brought to you by Posh Skin. Because beauty isn't just about how we look, it's about how we care for ourselves. Period. And it's true. As Gela mentioned, studies show that more and more Filipinos see self-care and well-being as part of what makes someone beautiful. That's exactly what we believe too. Taking care of your skin can be simple, gentle, and even fun, like putting on a Posh Skin patch after a long day. Each patch is infused with salicylic acid, tea tree oil, and hydrocolloid with a calming aloe vera scent, so it works quietly while you rest, reminding us that beauty and healing can go hand in hand. Plus, they've just dropped new trendy patch designs from floral and black and white to sports-inspired and micro-needle patches for deeper care. So whether you're winding down or heading out, there's always a patch that fits your vibe. You can shop them at www.poshskin.ph or find them in Watson stores nationwide and use the code SOULBYDROSS for 20% off. Taking care of your health is everything. Can you tell us also about how you guys collected that data?
it's actually a global survey. So HAVAS Regional collects that data, but in the Philippines, they usually collect responses from around 500 Filipino prosumers, a mix of different generation. But from our latest data, it's mostly Gen Zs and millennials, so around the ages of 18 to 44. But Gen Zs can go as young as 12, right? But in our survey, we cover 18 years old and above. Actually, nowadays, it's easier to collect data from, let's say, the upper SECs because they're more willing to participate in researches, the surveys. Whereas the lower SECs like the Cs and the Ds, they're kind of reluctant in participating in researches. But for me, kasi they're the big chunk of the population, right? And to really review the current state of how we're thinking, you really have to go to them and talk to them about how they think about certain topics. So for me, that's the current limitation of the researches, the surveys. No? But the likes of Prosumer Reports, kasi they're kind of inclusive and they reflect not just a certain SEC, a certain group of people, but they encompass a lot of demographics. So I think the likes of Havas Ortega's Prosumer Report help push and help update us know where are we heading on a certain topic as a society.
On the topic of wellness, for me, sometimes I feel pressured to be healthy. How do you think we can stay kind to ourselves?
We always have to remind ourselves that our journey is different from someone else's. In the journey that is beauty, journey of wellness, we have to remind ourselves that doesn't mean that someone else lost like 10 kilos of weight in 3 months. It doesn't have to be na you're also gonna lose that amount of weight in the same time period. The moment na you put pressure yourself to imitate someone else's journey, you're being unkind to yourself. So you have to remember that it's your own journey and you just have to trust the process and have fun.
I love that. All of these data points and research, what does all of this say about the future of beauty?
What I feel about it is that right now we have to be responsible. So we're marketeers, we're media professionals. We always have to remind ourselves that whatever we put out there, it's something that the future tools would pick up. With the age of AI coming, wherein AI tools just pick up information from multiple sources and then they feed it to our screens, not just our screens, but also the screens of the younger children. But at the same time, I'm always a believer kasi that the younger generation is smarter than us and they're more discerning than us because they're growing up with AI. They're growing up with social media and all the information available to them. And I believe that by the time that they're older, they're gonna know what's right and what's wrong. And hopefully they're gonna choose what's right about beauty. They're gonna fight better advocacies than us and they're gonna do it better. So yeah, a lot of hope and a lot of responsibility rin as the older adults.
That's a good hope. Because even me, like, I'm scared of AI.
Yeah.
You know, this is such a new thing. How do you think we can not fear it?
it's normal to fear it because it's a new technology, right? We used to
Yeah.
fear social media back then. I
Yes.
believe.
And TV.
Yes, right? And right now, we just have to remind ourselves that it's not the enemy, it's a partner in our advocacies and the way that we express ourselves towards something good. AI is not something that can replace us, it's something that can boost whatever good that we
Yeah.
put out in the world. Yeah.
It's a tool.
It's a tool. It's a tool that helps us do better.
Yeah. What then do you think is the responsibility of brands, influencers, media, advertisers in regarding all of this? AI, these data points, everything. What is our responsibility?
Because AI feeds from the content that we put out, that we
Yes.
post, the campaigns that we produce, the images that we generate, and everything. So our responsibility vis-a-vis the AI age is that we need to be smarter. For example, when doing our prompts, we need to be more responsible in the messages that we release, the campaigns that we make. We have to think not just about making sales, we have to think about the future beliefs and the future notions of society rin.
Honestly, it's also so comforting to hear that from someone like you because it's also easy to just be scared now. Oh my gosh, we're all gonna die. The AI is gonna take over. It's not gonna be good. But thank you for sharing all of this with us today. I think my question also is, what is your hope then for the future of beauty?
I would say I'm kind of hopeful that, for example, the body positivity movement will get its boost. We know it's like getting overpowered by medical weight loss drugs, for example. But I do hope that in the future will push its advocacy rather than shutting it down. Next would be that the more and more Filipinos would because our culture kasi is kind of discriminating. That's one of the traits of Filipino culture, right? I do hope that in the future, since Gen Zs, the millennials are growing up, getting older, now we'll cultivate a culture for the younger generations wherein we're more accepting, we're less discriminating, we're more careful with our words, and we're just accepting of whatever identity that we choose to be and whatever look that we choose to have for a day or forever, for example. I'm Gela, Senior Strategist from HAVAS Ortega, and this has been the Soul Podcast. See you next week.